Hello everyone. Well, unfortunately it looks like the morel season has passed me by here in Ohio. It's just had too much of a dry, windy spring. And now although it's very wet out, it's really rained constant for the past 2.5 weeks it seems. And everything's nice and wet and green, and it just should have happened. This should have happened 2 months ago, and with a little bit warmer temperatures instead of 30-degree nights. So yeah, it's just a very strange spring here in Ohio. It was also a very strange spring for Morel King in Denmark. I don't think he had a lot of success with his farm rows. Again, with too much dry wind in the area, preventing any morels from even starting. And I've checked through, all this is still found. Little brown mushrooms, paziza, the normal stuff. Same also too with everything in the garden area. So thoughts on what went wrong this year. I got one morel over here, so I got something right. And thoughts on what to do for next year. Obviously the problem seems to be the, if you have spring where the temperature is too low at the start, it's going to delay things anyhow. And then that delay gets into an area of weather, a little bit later in the spring where conditions are drier and maybe too warm. So you want to get right at the, as early as you can get in the spring, ideal conditions. So to get rid of this issue with the dry air, I think one of the things I'm going to do is stop growing it back in this area here, because one, I have to do extra maintenance. Again, I got weed whack in between the rows unless I till up everything here too. This is farther away from everything, so I got to run the hose line out. And to protect it too from wind, I'd have to put new fencing up and some sort of setup. But since I don't have 100% guarantees on any of this yet, I really want to do a bit more of experimentation. And really it's consistency that I need to get with the morels, and which is the same with any kind of agriculture thing. It's consistency is the biggest factor, because I don't want the spring weather, I don't want the the lack of rain or any of that to play into my grow. I want to have full control over the variables and to guarantee I'm going to have pins popping. And so I'm going to abandon this area. I'll clean it up. Probably have to till it again, then reseed the lawn, reclaim my lawn. But yeah, it's like let's go back over here to the garden area. Take a walk. And see, everything's nice and wet, of course, but it's too warm. Oh, there's a little chipmunk. Run, little chipmunk. It's probably what's been making holes in my rows. What if the chipmunk's been eating my mushrooms? I doubt it though. Yeah, so you see the rows in here? If you're wondering all that stuff on top of the shade cloth, that's actually honeysuckle blooms falling. A lot of honeysuckle bush over here. They probably need to trim back, so it's all jungle now. And obviously I'm gonna have to clean up my garden too. I got weeds everywhere. It's gonna have to get weed whacked and taken care of. But yeah, so my thoughts are that somehow I have to use this fence line here as a wind border, a wind break. And thoughts on that? Well, we have such high winds around here that if I just attach tarps flat to one side, say on the outside or whatnot, and secure the tops and bottoms, that probably wouldn't be sufficient enough, because then it would be like a wind sail. It would catch the entire fence. Well, it wouldn't be so bad about catching the fence, but it'd catch the tarp on the fence and probably rip the tarp away from its grommets, and probably damage it, because we get really high wind here sometimes in storms. It's 50-degree or 50-mile-an-hour gusts are pretty normal. And so just I'm in a very high wind area of the country for storms anyway. And so to make a break, I thought, well, maybe I could put like solid fence, like maybe like plywood boards up against it. That's gonna a plywood, unless you paint it or something, is gonna go bad after a while, and it's gonna look like shit. But I guess really, putting up anything around here is gonna look kind of odd for a garden setup. But what I think I might do is just get some really long tarps, some extra long tarps, long enough that I could flip them over the top of the fence, and then most of the grommets would then be at the bottom, the base of it, like I secure it. Maybe I have some heavy steel cable that I could run through the grommets, and that add some extra weight to hold it down. And I think if I flipped it over the top of the fence, that would be secure enough for all the wind. And of course, it's going to take a lot of tarps. Although I doubt I'll have to do anything to the side that borders the trees and everything, because that stays pretty thick. Yeah, so if I pretty much have tarps running, all the way around this open area, down here, and then down the backside here. And then either, say I still have tarps up, and say it's still dry wind, and I can water the rows, like my same misting setup. But if you remember, when I did that and it was dry out, it was still, they get the rows saturated, sopping wet, but the footpaths and everywhere around the rows was still pretty dry. So that would lower the humidity in the air, just by having dry ground next to everything. So that's no good. So what I'd have to do is either have some extra misters that would go around the border of the fence and spraying mist out into the area every so often, or probably just equally better is just have a couple sprinklers set up, and some basic garden sprinklers that would go back and forth, and just water the entire area and keep it wet. Which of course it's gonna take a lot of water to do that. Maybe double the amount of water I'm using. So there's a little additive cost for that, but when you consider that you can sell 1 pound of morels for $30 to $50, you kind of make up for that additional cost of water pretty quick if it works out. So much better to do it right to have consistent results and spend a little extra money to make it work. Let's see, what else? I think that would probably be sufficient, if I just use the same setup for the misters, the forehead misters. Although I might, if I do higher hoops, I might actually go back to using downward single misters on some of them. I did raise the hoops on this back part on some of these with some additional pieces because they were too low. I found that one morel, it had a little bit of damage to the top of it, and I thought maybe possibly that was old or whatnot, blight from just being out there too long. But actually, it more likely is because the shade cloth was rubbing on top of it. So it's important to have some sort of straight walls to the sides of your hoops to prevent that. You don't want anything laying over top of the mushrooms. So those are my other ideas to improve upon, but getting the humidity bumped up is going to be the biggest factor. And I'll probably only make about half the amount of spawn I did last year, just because even so, though my gray morel spawn didn't work out, I still had quite a bit and probably used too much, or overdid it for the amount I need in the rows. So if I use half as much that I did last year, I'll probably have enough to do all 4 of these rows, in the right amounts. And I don't think I overspawned, and that caused a problem. I think it's just still the dry wind. And also too, there's something to think about too, that I had mold issues at the start. That maybe if I didn't have those mold issues and then my son was a bit stronger, it could have had better success. But I have that cleared up now, and a better system of inoculating my sawdust bags, where I'll go from petri dish to the sawdust bags instead of using grain spawn as an intermediary. But I'll keep on trying, keep on experimenting. I might do some other smaller stuff up close to the house to see if maybe like some even more contained areas to keep the humidity in. Here's some more little brown mushrooms in there. You see, it's still indicative of the mushroom growth. Something else I'm going to talk about too at the end of this video. Currently, my YouTube channel, although I can upload again, I still have 2 strikes to my channel again. If you don't know, my channel was banned about a couple months ago, and then probably a lot of you good people, complained to YouTube about how they're banning perfectly legal gourmet mushroom videos. And they reinstated my channel, took away all my strikes. No apology, of course, because they're asses. They don't want to accept their own fault. But shortly after that, I got 2 more strikes on my channel, and they prevented me from uploading. That's why you see there's a video I put up that just came up that's about 2 weeks late, because they just enabled my ability to publish my videos again. But currently, I still have 2 strikes against my channel, so at any point in time they could ban me again. But like I said before, I'm putting all my stuff on my Twitch account video page. You go to the link here for my Twitch videos, my VODs, and maybe eventually I'll do a live stream too on that. But yeah, so if YouTube bans me outright, that's where to find my videos. And of course, still, I'll be putting my videos up there first before I put them to YouTube. And I still believe Twitch is going to be the next big platform that takes over all the YouTube content providers, just because they're going to find out that live streaming is superior to the pre-recorded content. Of course, you got to have extra setup for that and stuff, but it still is, and people really love the live streaming. I love doing it. It's fun. But some other thoughts too is that I thought it could be the YouTube bots. They're looking for words like spores and mushrooms and throwing red flags for that. But I have a feeling in my gut that a lot of what's happened to the gourmet mushroom videos, all the content creators on YouTube, including Myers Mushrooms, and I don't think they did anything to Silver Leapers, some other ones I know, some other farms. But yeah, there's a real thing in the United States called the Portobello Mafia. And if you've ever watched the interview with Paul Stamets and Joe Rogan, he talks a little bit about it, how the gourmet mushroom industry in America, mostly portobellos and button mushrooms and shiitakes and things of that notion, they don't want us small-time growers to get big and to cut into their profits, especially since we have a good base of knowledge that we love to share freely. They hate the idea of sharing knowledge freely. They want it all for profit. And I really believe that part of why these videos are being taken down, why these content creators are being taken down, is because that the gourmet mushroom industry is actively petitioning YouTube behind the scenes, or they're secretly flagging videos behind the scenes, trying to get all those content creators to take their stuff down and not give out that free information. Because imagine if morels, for instance, just morels, were made easier to grow in the United States. You can buy spawn, make your own rows, and you're going to find that people don't want to eat as many of those button mushrooms or as many of those portobello mushrooms. They're gonna spend their money on morels because the cost of morels will go down, down, down as the amount of surplus in the market goes up, up, up. And I look into the futures, like, people sell morels for, $50, $60 a pound. Well, I bet in 5, 10 years, you're probably not going to be able to get that much because you're going to have more people growing them. You're going to have some commercial farms popping up, providing them. So you're going to have probably prices in the States, around, probably $25, $30 a pound for morels. And, that's how it is, and it'll cut into the profits of all the other mushroom industry. So, yeah, something to think about. But otherwise, I'm going to keep on giving you guys the proper information, sharing all this content that you guys need to know. I want to give back to humanity, increase its knowledge base, because I'm not benefiting just people in the United States, doing this. People all around the world and third world countries, that don't even really care about profits of industry of it. They just want a job, want a business, want to provide agriculture to places in Africa, Cambodia, all these places that are underdeveloped. So getting the mushroom industry into there with techniques that they can do, like especially I love the hydrated lime method for pasteurizing mushrooms, and that's great for any kind of underdeveloped country because it's easy access and don't have to worry about using heat or anything like that. So it's all kinds of good stuff coming out from sharing content. So I wish all you luck. Hopefully I'll be able to keep on uploading these videos. And remember, if not, go to twitch.tv and check me out. And check out Twitch anyhow. I think it's going to be the future of YouTube, really. YouTube's going to turn into like Hulu or some other kind of like TV-based style content provider. So, yeah, best wishes to y'all, and have fun growing. I'll probably won't put out any more videos till next spring unless I do like some mushroom hiking and stuff like that, which I love to do. So I might still take some mushroom hiking videos if I find some interesting things like lion's mane or chicken of the woods or one out in the woods or something new that I haven't seen before. But yeah, take care and see y'all. Bye bye.